Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
I'm Jennifer Santinello, and this is Layla. She's my firstborn child. She's the child that made me a mother. If my girl is out there somewhere, I would like for these stories to reach her. She seems to have vanished, and we have been investigating her disappearance for almost 3 months now. We need more eyes on her story. We need to shine a light and get her story out of just this small town that it's in. I am here to implore you to share and talk about our girl. If my girl is no longer with us, I would like for those who know what happened to her to feel the pressure.
What inspired you to this particular case?
I'm always interested in stuff like this. Obviously, talking to you about the Summerwell stuff like that, I'm not always trying to be on the right side and help people that are hurting. But her being local, and like I told her, my son's 25 and Layla ain't too much younger, so
Yeah,
it could
so
be anybody from Kingsport. It's the
it
way I
could.
look at it, you know.
Yeah,
And more people should be here helping her, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
Many of us came from all over the country to help Jennifer Santinello look for her daughter. Can you help? If you know something, say something.
Do you know how many people say things like, they make me so angry? What do I hear? I have given my power and my emotional state over to someone else. They make me so angry? That would imply you don't have a choice in the matter. When you emotionally mature, you choose how to move your energy, which does not mean you're not without emotion, and it does not mean that you do not experience different kinds of emotion. What it means is you take responsibility and control for how that gets expressed and what you do with it.
So apparently, if you treat people like they treat you, they get upset. Shocker.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
What up, my beautiful people of YouTube? And we've got Twitter. Nice to see everybody on Twitter. Good morning. Happy hump day. So I just took my glasses off. Now I can't see my screen. What am I doing here? Did I tell you I'm blind as a bat now? TL, good morning. Oh, geez. I'm going to call you Marshmallow. Because I don't feel like sitting here trying to pronounce your name. So Marshmallow, it's nice to see you. Can't see the polling question. Oh, well, the polling question says, did you hit the like button on your way in? Yes, I have the coffee club shakes. And no, I'm using it to dig for gifts. If they had more characters, I just want to let you guys know, if they had more characters, some of the responses would be a little more involved. MJ, it's nice to see you. November Rain, Angie Gibson, second thesis. It's nice to see you. Mike, as everybody, only M. It's nice to see you. As everybody starts trickling their ways in this morning, we're just going to go over a couple things. Do you guys remember? Good morning, Jack. It's nice to see you. I'm not going to say your whole name, but we will say good morning to Jack. It does give me... If you haven't gotten your coffee, guys, I have to be honest with you. I've got like this much coffee in the coffee cup. I've got my glass of water here. So we're going to try to make it through this live without having to get up and get coffee. But I have a funny feeling. I'm going to end up having to leave you guys just long enough for the Keurig. Because I didn't want to make a pot of coffee. I really need to chill out on the coffee, okay? I don't know if that's what's making me not go to sleep at night. It's just I need to slow up on the caffeine. I think what happens is I go on these trips and I stop drinking coffee. I'll only drink like 4 cups. And I'll come back home and I'll drink my 2 pots of coffee after not drinking coffee for a week. Well, I don't realize what caffeine does to you when you have no caffeine in your system. Well, it wires you a little bit, okay? Who knew? Right? Who knew? So last night was not, it was one of those things where this morning I needed to be, too much coffee dehydrates me. I end up in the hospital. It doesn't mean, but when I got home, I was still dehydrated. Did I tell you guys while we were out there, I forgot to drink water out in the field because it was so cold. It was cool. I shouldn't say cold. I mean, I was comfortable. There were sometimes I was a little too chilly, but for the most part, I was out there comfortable, but I forgot to drink water. When I came home, even after chugging as much water after that, even when I came home, like Monday, I could not, it just didn't seem like I could keep any water in me. My mouth was dry the entire day. I was just chug-a-lug-a-lug-a-lugging, but it is what it is. Anyways, you guys knew I went out to the Hialeah area and I was, I covered and did a video. Actually, let me pull the video up. on Derek Rosa. I was supposed to do the father and son. I got all the stuff for that, but I never prepared the video because, like I had said at the time, there was just personal stuff going on at the time. Everybody kept thinking it was this lawsuit thing, and it wasn't. I kept trying to tell everybody, oh, you're so worried about the lawsuit. No, I'm not worried about the lawsuit. I got the lawsuit's the least of my concerns. Believe me, absolutely the least of my concerns. It's frustrating. I just like this shit to stop, but we'll just keep going. We'll just keep going down this road. It's clearly not going to get better. I'm done. But either way, we were out there and we did this case on Derek Rosa. Well, Derek Rosa, and it's on my main channel. So let me go over to Bullhorn Betty. I don't know why I forgot to pull this up. But either way, we went out there. We covered the case. I didn't have like any personal interviews. For that, we've got a couple. No, I did not. I did not, Marshmallow, hear the 911 call. I wish I would have done it, but when I did my video, it wasn't something that was being incorporated in my video, so it wasn't a search that I did. So, long story short, we did learn that he was a fairly good kid. Like he seemed like for the peers and stuff. Again, I didn't personally interview anybody in and around or connected with this case at all. I didn't review them. I didn't see them. I have really no earthly idea other than the stuff that I read about this case. Did I disclose? It was all surface level stuff. I didn't get any kind of behind the scenes information. I was hopeful. But one of the things that I do when I'm covering these cases is go into the community, go into where this crime happened, just to get footage, I don't really go knocking on doors or anything, but if somebody's in a public area, I'll ask them if they know something about a case or, what the situation, may be. And usually they're very willing to talk and, share the information that they know. But in this case, they live behind a gated community. It was a touchy subject. This was a young boy. So I wanted information, but I didn't know how much, I could personally handle taking in, because again, this is a young kid that killed his mother. But we learned he was a good kid at school. We learned that for all intents and purposes, there were no red flags with this kid. You remember that, what was his name? Ethan Crumbly? Is that it? Crumbly? Is that the one that was up north that did the school thing and the parents were arrested? I think that's the one. My brain's not playing tricks on me, I think it's Ethan Crumbly. Anyways, he did something, shot up some people at a school, and he was having behavioral changes. Parents got him a gun. Parents ended up, getting charged with the crime. Okay, so I do have the right case. It ended up getting charged with a crime. Well, this is a situation where Ethan was displaying red flags. Okay, there were a lot of issues going on in and around that time frame that indicated that Ethan was having some problems, which was a shock to many as to why, hey, good vibes, as to why Ethan was provided a gun from his parents. And a lot of people in these communities, I just want to, I'm a fair person. I try to explain things as fairly and as rationally as possible, because some people, they live in areas where it's not, a gun-friendly area, or they live in a major city where it's just not conducive, and some areas are, more rural, and people just live differently. We all have our different lifestyles, right? So, and just because we don't understand each other's lifestyle doesn't mean we're not entitled to it. So what am I going down this dissertation for? Because the parents gave this kid a gun, and people are like, oh my God, why does a parent give a gun? Look, I was shooting a gun when I was 6 years old. You guys may think that that is a horrible, how dare anybody put a gun in a 6-year-old's hands? Well, listen, it's not that. We don't get, AK, 15s or AR-15s and go, parents hand them to us and say, hey, go have fun with that with your friends, okay? It's not like that. Our parents, when we're that age, teach us gun responsibility, okay? From the time I was able to hold and shoot a lawful legal gun, I was no longer able to point a gun, whether it be a water gun, whether it be, one of those suction cup, things. We were no longer allowed to point that at anyone because that was training for us at a young age, that if we ever have a gun, because sometimes my parents taught us that you never know if a gun's real or not. And you should take even the ones with water as if they're real, okay? Because again, we were young kids that were able to hold and shoot guns. We loved going out to Georgia and shooting cans and bottles and watermelons. That was fun for us. I know people are like, that doesn't sound like fun, but blowing shit up, I'm sorry. It was fun for us, okay? I love blowing shit up. I love seeing a watermelon explode into 1,000 different pieces. Sue me, okay? I'm a little weird like that. I don't know what makes me tick, but if I get an opportunity to go out to Georgia to blow up a freaking watermelon, Bullhorn Betty's going to be in Georgia blowing up a stinking watermelon. I love that shit. I love it, right? So this idea that I was offended somehow about the parents giving Ethan Crumbly a gun, I'm not. I completely understand because it's an experience I had as a young child. The problem I have is they know he was displaying this behavior. His school was having some issues with his behavior, and they still provided him a gun. I think that is the problem that I have. That was poor parenting, and people lost their life because of it. So I don't have a problem. But here in this case, Derek Rosa, it's not an Ethan Crumbly case. Okay. We don't have this kid showing psychotic tendencies or, weird red flags from what I'm gathering from the reports that were released. And I have to say the reports that were released because I could very well be wrong about the information, right? We hear that how horrible. I could literally be wrong about the information. I am at the mercy of what I read in here because even though I had boots on the ground out there in Hialeah, I didn't speak to anybody with knowledge of the facts of this case to either confirm or deny the information I'm telling you. I can only simply read to you what I have in my possession, custody, and control. And what it is saying is this boy didn't appear to have any type of issues going on. He seemed like a well-adjusted, well-balanced kid. And so, like I said, whenever I was, why do I not have this? Okay, I know I did a video on it. I definitely know I did that. Where's my Derek Rosa video? I know I did a Derek. Didn't I do a Derek Rosa video? I thought I did a video all by itself. Did I not title it right? Did I not put it on? Oh my goodness. I don't think I put my Derek Rosa video on my channel. I think it's on my TikTok. Hold on a second. What? Say what? Where's my phone? Do I have anything around me at the moment? Do I have any tools? It looks like Betty woke up and forgot. My phone, I think, is in the room. Okay, well, we're going to try to watch it on TikTok. I know it's on TikTok somewhere. So let me get over here to TikTok. I'm sorry, guys. I thought I uploaded it. I did not realize I did not upload the video on YouTube. Let me make sure I uploaded it on TikTok. By the way, we just crossed over to our 104,000 viewer. We are literally almost up to 1 million likes, not views, almost 1 million likes on the TikTok channel. So if you guys have not had an opportunity to go over there, please do. There it is. Okay, I did put it up. I forgot that was surrounding that area of time when my state attorney decided to allow a deranged mental patient out on the streets of Manatee County. Remember that?
Derek Rosa calls 911.
Let me pause it so you guys can see what I'm doing. Say what? All right, here we go. Yeah, hopefully you guys can hear. We can see it on the screen. Let's go and play it. This is Derek Rosa. This is the case. I've got a lot more content. I just stopped making videos on it. I'm going to go and make videos with some other content probably later today.
Derek Rosa calls 911 to report stabbing his own mother to death, only an arm's length away from her brand new baby daughter.
Bullhorn Betty, I'm right here in front of Hialeah Police Department as we're covering several cases here in Hialeah. One of the cases that we are covering here in Hialeah is the case of 13-year-old Derek Rosa. Derek Rosa, he's a 13-year-old boy that lived in this community behind me, and he is in jail for the unthinkable. It's just down the road from I Matter Academy. This is the academy that Derek Rosa goes to school. He's a 13-year-old child that's accused of doing the unthinkable, killing his 39-year-old mother. Derek was a good kid that it appears, for all intents and purposes, had nothing going on with him, at least from what they're reporting to the public. Now, obviously, there were some dangerous things going on inside of this young boy where he could kill his loving mother to death.
Okay, there you have it. And Juicy Betty plucking it up and saying, "Mwah!" Get that back up here. Let me do this right. Here we go. Oh, I'll give you guys some more kisses. Oh, we got a couple more. There you go. Kisses from Betty. Kisses from Betty. Kisses all the way around the chat. Okay, just say hi to one another. It's the holiday side. Listen, guys, you know what? Let me just break this down for you. We know we got haters up in here. We know we got trolls. We got people that are going to be in here. We got people, all this nonsense, this, that, and the other. Let me just break it down for you. Okay. It is the holiday season. It is the holiday season. Okay. Certainly, we can all do our part to make this season bright. And I'm not talking to you good people in my chat. The people out there know who I'm talking about. They're the ones that are running in here and just spamming the chat. Not this chat, but, the comment section of the channel with, their complaints. Okay, listen, you guys have a First Amendment right. I get it. If you guys really want to spread hate this time of year and have your face plastered all over, your name plastered all over, showing hate during the holiday seasons, if that makes you feel good, God bless you. Go fill my comment section up with a bunch of hate. Okay. But I'm telling you, this is getting ridiculous. And I've read some of these comments and they're so stinking petty. So petty. I'm going to tell each and every person that wants to hear about my finances and stuff, you can send me an email and provide me your bank statement. Okay. You provide me your bank statement of all of your transactions, including your account number, where every penny that you have spent. And I don't want just your main account. I want any and all checking books and checking accounts. Okay. So when you send me that email, be sure to put all your information in there, including your personal name, your address, and everything else. And when I get that, I'll be happy to produce mine to you, because I think it's fair. It's got to be one of these equal opportunity things. So if you're asking that of me, I'm definitely going to be asking that of you. So please be cautious when you do make those types of requests, because anything that you ask of me from this point, you will have to start producing for yourself. Okay. So I think that that's the best strategy to move over. I think that that's fair. We like to be fair here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. And I think that that is the best way we're going to handle some of these things. If you expect me to produce receipts, then I'm obviously going to be expecting you to also produce those receipts. And I'm not talking about videos. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about physical receipts. And if they're not acceptable, you're not getting mine. So we're just going to be playing these types of games if we need to. What I do want from the chat is, you guys, if you see hate comments, okay, it's the Christmas season. Certainly we're adults. Can I get an amen in the chat? Certainly the Bullhorn Betty channel is filled with a bunch of adults. So this is what I'm going to say about our people, the people in our flock. We are not going to engage. We here spread love and hope We don't engage into the nasty. We do not engage into the back and forth. We rise above that because we're better people. And we go out there and make a difference in people's lives each and every day while other people complain about theirs or other people's lives, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue. Did you guys see all the beautiful things that we were able to raise for an 8-year-old boy? Did you see what this group was able to do? We are doing amazing work. We are standing up here. We are being a beacon of our faith. We're being a beacon of, being fearless, right? We are showing the world what we are personally made of. And I can promise you, we are very, very strong. We are very, very powerful. And we go do great things. So why do we need to engage in stupidity? Because we know we're comfortable in our own skin, right? So we know how good and how powerful and how wonderful we are. Why are we going to sit there and have to argue that to someone? I think that is very childish and petty. You know what I think is just amazing and even more powerful is showing them we don't really care about what they think of us, right? So don't engage when you see nasty comments. You know what? It's the time. It's this year. It's let's put our Christmas hats on and our Christmas spirits in our heart, and let's ignore, right? If that's what makes them feel good, let them show the world just who they are. And we show the world exactly who we are. We're good. We're kind. We bring hope. We don't bring hate, and we don't bring despair or pity. What we do is we put our boots on and we lace them up. We go out there. We put one foot in front of the other, and we keep rocking it out with our coffee beans out. And that, my friend, is our big FU to everybody in those chats spreading hate. Okay? So that's going to be my 2 cents. I hope you guys can all play fair. The only rule of the Bullhorn Betty chat is what? Don't be a dick. Let's say it again. Say it with me. I know you guys are out there, and I guarantee I got some beautiful ladies sitting there screaming at their computer, screaming at their phone, or screaming at their TV, and we're all saying, what is the only word in the chat? The only rule. What? Let's try it again. Don't be a dick. We know I'm controversial, okay? I don't mind. Clearly, I don't mind handling my business, okay? We got thick skin up in here. But don't be a dick, okay? All right? All right. All right. So, guys, I gotta say, this whole Derek Rosa thing, it's got me just highly disturbed. And I mean that in all sincerity, highly disturbed. A few things are, when we started discussing this case and I started talking about Derek, I said, is it possible that he was on medication? With a new baby coming in, there's a lot of adjustments. And sometimes adolescents can't handle the adjustments. He's 13, 14, every parent. I don't know how many parents are in here right now that are currently raising teenagers. I don't know who has adults for kids. I can tell you that I personally was a teenager for a parent. And I was a troubled teenager for a parent. Right? So I can tell you that, I kind of understand that at a certain age, we're assholes. Okay. Let's be honest. Like teenagers, excuse my language, but we're a-holes. Okay. Us teenagers can be a-holes, right? We make you guys want to just murder us. And I'm saying that with all sincerity, because some days you are just lucky that you kept your child alive. And yes, I'm being sarcastic and facetious and joking around, but the feelings were there. You don't want to admit it. You moms in the back don't want to admit it. I'm going to tell you that because I've got a mother too. At least mom, she's like, there were some days, I swear to God, you were about to go in the ground. I'm like, I probably earned it. Right? So we've all been there, but this has a different level of creep, dude. This has a different level of creep. This was definitely not what I expected. We're just getting new information out on the Derek Rosa case. And for those, I know that we have people that come here and watch the chat that have, emotional issues, abusive issues. Sometimes these topics, even though you watch them and you support them, sometimes these topics are a little too triggering, okay, for you personally. If, some of this stuff here, I think you're going to have, it's not like gruesome or anything. It's just the topic itself. It's so difficult to really understand. Like this I wasn't expecting, I was kind of expecting a boy that snapped. That's what I was expecting, a new child in that thing. I was expecting maybe he was on some new medication and he wasn't getting a lot of sleep because the new baby's in the house. And we know how psychosis is, and how you're just not really in control. Your brain is messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've got all these things that are going on. So you're naturally thinking that there must be an explanation. A 13-year-old child that stabs his mother to death, an arm's length away from his new baby, 14-day-old sister, we're thinking a snapped moment. We're praying it's a snapped moment because we don't want to convince ourselves that a 13-year-old child is literally capable of this horrific event. I myself said, let's look at this. Let's not have judgment. Let's look at this and see if there's a reasoning for it, because we're hearing that he had no social issues. He didn't appear to have any behavioral issues. They were just it seems like his mom and his dad are in the same house. I remember his father. They said his father, and I don't know if it was his stepfather or his father, but, and I can't remember that. I remembered when we did this, I wrote it down. I don't know which book I have it in. Oh, here it is. Derek Rosa killed his mother. Video out. Okay. It's got to be in my other book. So I can't remember, but I remember whether it was his stepdad or his father, I try to get that. I just can't remember. I think it's his real dad, but I can't be 100% sure because his mom's name's Garcia and his name is Rosa. I'm unsure, but I know whatever father figure was in that home was at work, traveled. So mom was home with the kids. Father went out. I don't know what his employment was, but he was not the father. Either way, the father wasn't home at the time that this happened. It was only the mother, the newborn, and Derek. And it's just really, really a bizarre case because we're wanting this 13-year-old boy to have kind of like a psychotic episode, from lack of sleep. That's not the case. Let me get this over so you guys can start. Oh, sorry. So you guys can start seeing it. And let me see if I can blow this up. So this is basically saying that the prosecutors in Miami-Dade, Florida have released disturbing, and let me underscore that word, disturbing, evidentiary pictures regarding the boy who allegedly stabbed his mother. We couldn't understand why, if there was extenuating circumstances, why he was being charged as an adult, right? We don't understand why is he being charged as an adult. If there's extenuating circumstances such as medication, flipping out, psychosis, just snapping, I think even though we don't understand the brain, I do, and we are responsible for ourselves. I think, we do have some stuff. I don't know if how I feel about it, but I know we have things in our drafted into our laws for our mental health, because the worst thing that can happen is our brain literally controls everything, right? It controls our breathing, it controls our eyes, it controls everything. It is our computer, right? It's what tells everything to move and to think, and even my mouth and how I talk, and it all comes from my brain. But the problem is we as human beings, we have an understanding of what the brain's function is. We've studied the brain extensively, but we've all learned over the years we're not using our entire brain. That we're only, as human beings, utilizing a small portion of our brain. At least that's how I was taught when I was going to school. I don't know how they're educating our children this day and age, but that's how I was taught, that we're only using a very small percentage of our brain. That leads me to believe that if we're only using a small percentage of our brain, we could never, the way we're educated now, ever fully understand the capabilities of a human brain. That's just the way my brain works, right? That's how my brain processes information. I'm saying, well, if we as human beings aren't utilizing our entire brains, even the smartest person in the world couldn't fully understand the human brain and the functions that it carries. Why am I saying this? Because when our brain starts screwing up on us, it is our literally everything. It's what makes you think, breathe, talk, walk, right? It's our brain. Our heart pumps our blood, but our brain is pretty much, it's our computer system. So if our computer system gets corrupted or goes out, we're screwed. We have no control. Our brain literally controls everything. So when we have major brain disorders or psychological disorders or things that just cause our brain, let me put this disclaimer out there, in my opinion. I try to look for, what could happen to this boy, but it's not turning out what I thought it would be. This looks a lot more calculated than we thought, where this boy stabbed his mother to death after she gave birth to his baby sister. And it looked like he fucking enjoyed it. Excuse my language. A mom. I can't imagine how elated she was at having her brand new baby girl. A proud mom, right? With her bundle of joy, a baby girl. And it's going to get heartbreaking, guys. So this is her on her bed. And as you see, let me see if I can blow this up. She's holding her baby daughter. She is holding her baby daughter. Just another day in their house. She's just relaxing, enjoying being a mom. She's got her new bundle of joy right there in her arms, just loving on that child. He's a lot bigger than I thought he'd be. He's a lot bigger than I thought he'd be. That's him hurting his mother while she slept. While she slept. Not doing anything. And he comes in the room and brutalizes her for no reason. He's a much bigger kid than I thought he was. Obviously capable of violence. Makes you wonder what makes kids do this. But that's not the most disturbing of it all. After he's done brutalizing his mother, he decides to throw a shaka sign up with his hand covered in blood, killing his mother and being proud of himself for doing so. There you go, guys. There's your Derek Rosa. There's that kid that went to school that we thought just had a mental break because he was sleep deprived. Oh, no, no, no. Mm-mm. He's a monster, folks. Now, he might have some things that we don't know going on with him, but right there, that is exactly why he is being charged as an adult. And that is exactly why I hope and pray this 13-year-old boy spends the rest of his life thinking about what he did to his mother. I don't think he has realized how good his life was. Yes, that was his real mother. That was his real mom. From my understanding, that's what it says in all the reports. His mother, his mother, his mother. I honestly just, when I saw this report come out, I was just like, literally. So let me just read this article so you guys can get an understanding of, hold on, let me see this. Oh, that's right. It's too big. So here's what, I'll just read everything for you guys so everybody's kind of caught up. So this is what the article says. Prosecutor in Miami-Dade County, Florida, have released disturbing evidentiary pictures regarding the teenage boy who allegedly stabbed his mother. And I will tell you that from this report, they said all of her stuff was in her neck and her face. Again, big problem for me. In a still image from the surveillance footage dated October 12, 2023, victim Irina Garcia, 39, is in bed holding what appears to be her 14-month-old daughter. The lights were out. It was 10:23 p.m. In another still time at 11 that night, a male figure standing, arms outstretched over the bed in the now darkened room. Derek Rosa, 13, is charged as an adult with the first-degree murder of allegedly killing Garcia in her sleep near the baby. After the arrest affidavit states the victim sustained multiple wounds around the neck. And then, of course, we've seen the surveillance picture. It says one of the pictures released by prosecutors shows Rosa as he makes a shaka sign with his hand in red. Authorities said he sent this image to friends. He sent the image to friends. He was bragging. He was proud of himself for brutally murdering his own mother. At one point, Rosa allegedly grabbed two guns belonging to a stepfather and planned to die by suicide. I don't know if that was the case. He looked too proud of himself to want to die by suicide. I knew there was something with the father. I couldn't remember. Because I always remember having the conversation if some of this was coming from, if I recall correctly, when we had this conversation in our live chat, I think that was one of the conversations we had, was whether this, new child with the stepfather might have made Derek feel somehow like the third wheel, if this was something of that nature. I don't know if it was or not. I really don't. But does somebody was talking about the 911 call. Let me see if I can find the 911 call and see if we can hear it here. Derek Rosa. And maybe I did hear it. I can't remember because this, a lot's obviously happened since chilling footage, lurking mom's bed, crime scene release, 911, call. Derek Rosa 911 audio. Okay, I think this might be it. We'll see. Let me take this down. Okay, here's one of them.
So you guys remember Derek Rosa, the 13-year-old boy who killed his mother in her sleep next to her newborn daughter? Well, they just revealed exactly what he said in the 911 call confessing to the incident. Dispatchers that he took photos of his patient went on for 18 minutes.
That's not. Sorry, I'm trying to find the actual 9. Does anybody have the actual 911 call? The recording of it? Audio. Let's see if this one is. I'm trying to watch chat too. I'm trying to see if anybody. We will hear more from the friends. They send them pictures. No, that law enforcement's going to shut those friends up. They're all probably underage, and like with the underage kids, like even for me, you can't really. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I got it. I think I got it. Let's see. Okay, guys, I just want to tell you this video may contain.
Where else did you stop her other than that you caught it?
Give me just a second. I'm going to start back over so you guys can hear it. Can you guys hear it okay?
You caught her neck? Okay. Where else did you stop her other than that you cutting her neck? Where is your sister?
She's in her crib sleeping. I did not kill her.
How old is your sister?
She's only like a week old.
Okay, and you did not touch her, correct?
No, I did not touch her. I didn't want to touch my sister.
I need to know if your mom is breathing.
She said, Miss, I have the gun with me. I was going to shoot myself, but I didn't want to. I pulled back the slide, but I did not shoot.
I need to know, do you think we can help your mom?
Miss, she's dead. I have more family members. They can take care of my sister. I took pictures and I told my friends about it. Was that bad?
You told who about it?
See, he's making it sound like he took pictures to send to his friends. What I saw was a kid smiling and happy for himself for killing his mother. And then after he took those pictures and sent, maybe the fear put in because now he's sounding like a scared kid. But I'm sorry. I saw that picture. We all saw it. We all saw it. Let's just go back and look at it again, just for all intents and purposes, so we don't misunderstand what we saw on this this photo here, because that doesn't look like a scared boy to me. That looks like somebody that's proud of himself and sending a bragging photo over to his friends. Hey, I killed my mother. And then when he probably was getting the people saying, "What? Are you free?" He probably started getting scared. Next thing you know, but I don't know. That's just an assumption. Doesn't make it true. Doesn't make it true. I just can't.
My friends.
Your friends? So you sent pictures to your friends? So what you did?
Yeah, I didn't delete the pictures off my phone, but I sent them to him. And I told him that I was sorry, and then I stood by. I'm okay. I'm really sad.
All right, so you guys are going to have to just give me a second. I've got to go find my vape. Just give me a second. Might as well grab the phone while I'm up, right? Might as well grab the phone while I'm up. Let me put my ears back in. Almost out of coffee. So I'm probably gonna have to get up again. This is gonna be the one live that I'm never in this chair. So I'm gonna try to find you guys a video to watch. So I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee. So you guys see what I'm obviously pretty, highly upset about when it comes to Derek Rosa, right? I mean, we definitely, at least when I looked into this, I definitely wasn't expecting these revelations to come out. I don't know how our resident defense attorney feels here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, right? Big Mac Mike, would you like to weigh in on maybe some defense strategy here? How are you planning on defending this one? Like this kid, I mean, I think personally this is pretty damaging for the Derek Rosa case. I don't know what they're going to use. I'm trying to, we don't see what law enforcement has, right? So it's kind of hard to figure out how the defense is going to be defending this case for their client, which ends up being a 13-year-old boy that's accused of murdering his mother. He's obviously acknowledged it, and admitted to doing this crime on the 911 call. So now it's not about whether he did it. Okay, there's nothing about whether he did it that's going to really be. It's going to be hard for them to say at this point he didn't do it. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. He was possessed. Betty, that was horrible. What that count? It is. It is. I know this is going to be hard. This is going to be a hard case when it goes to trial and we watch it. It's going to be a tough case for us to watch. I mean, it's just a tough case all the way around. It's very unfortunate. And it's sad because, we're talking about these cases and ripping into them and tearing them apart and trying to find every, little bit of information. And we are a little bit emotional when it comes to our cases and stuff, but we're not living it, and we have to always remember that when we cover these cases, this is somebody's real life. This is somebody's real pain, real grief, real everything. This is somebody's real. Okay. This is our, newsworthy segment on whatever it is, but this is serious. This boy, this 13-year-old boy is sitting in jail right now. And his mother's in the grave. This is real. This is about as real as it's going to get. And so the idea that they're going to have to admit he did it. I mean, he did it. So how do you defend a case for a client that did it? Well, now you got to try to figure out why he did it. Is there some answers into the reason why? Did he have a psychological break? Even with the smiling and the shaka sign, yeah, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. But if you can somehow spin that into some psychological break, you might get leniency, or they might be able to find out that there truly was a medication he was taking that may have had him, we don't want to consider, because we're thinking we take medication, like I got like what, what is this? Oh, this is the generic Aleve, right? It's the equate Aleve. But we take stuff all the time and we don't realize what it could do to us. I mean, we could literally have a side effect to medication that makes us literally homicidal. I understand it's stranger than fiction, but I can tell you it has happened. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. It legitimately does happen. It's not a hocus pocus argument in a court proceeding to get off of doing an unthinkable. I'm telling you, it truly does happen. That's why they have that path forward when it truly does happen. But this is hard. This is hard. So they're going to have to come up with a trial strategy, a defense strategy that acknowledges him doing this crime. Now they have to try to explain why and try to get him off that way. Maybe there is something. I don't know if there is or not. But I know it's going to be a sensitive topic, and we're going to be, because I've already been there. I visited it personally, so we are going to be covering the case. Getting on to a different topic of discussion before I'm going to go through the rest of these things fairly quickly, because we're already an hour into our live, and I may skip over some of the stuff that I was going to talk about to get to the meat and potatoes of the conversation we have for today, because I spent too much time on Derek Rosa. We all knew that we're seeing a lot more investigative genetic genealogy testing being done in our law enforcement. We see it every day. We see cases that haven't been solved for 30, 40, 50, 60 years finally being solved. I can tell you all these cold cases being solved are a direct result of this genetic genealogy testing, this investigative genetic genealogy testing, them being able to mapping our family trees back to us. It's been a very amazing tool for law enforcement. It's not a tool that doesn't come with challenges, right? So this tool does come with its own challenges. What abilities can they do? Privacy challenges. There's a whole host. But the good that's coming out of all this, they will work through all of those weird, uncomfortable laws and taking it to the Supreme Court and challenging it over the next, several decades. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of challenging of this as defense attorneys try to argue against, this stuff, because their clients are going to jail because of the stuff they did 30, 40, 50 years ago. And there, I get people have changed their life in 30, 40, 50 years. But it doesn't change the fact that they chose to escape accountability for their crime. Meanwhile, a family had to suffer all these years while the animal that made that family suffer is outliving the good life. So we as a community say, we get it, but this is murder. We're not going to put a statute of limitations on murder. And when we find you, it could be 30, 40, or 50 years. It'll be maybe when you least expect it, and they'll be there, and you will have to pay the piper. This one's a little different because I really think that she was killed by an up-and-coming serial killer. I truly do believe the person that killed her will eventually, if he hasn't already been deemed a serial killer, he will be, because there's several people in his wake. She is the second person that has been that this person has been accused. His name is Lucius, maybe it's Lucius Boyd. He's already in jail for another type of murder. Let me see if I can find a picture of him. There he is. He's already in jail for another type of, another murder of a girl that lost her life 2 weeks before this lady. And it is believed that he is connected with other cases as well. Even an ex-girlfriend's family member being shot and killed. And there was some, so there's just this guy's just a real bad dude. But we're going to see this keep coming. We're every day and every week. There's not one thing that I never saw all this investigative genetic genealogy testing in these cases being saw 40, 50 years, or even unidentified people, Jane Does and John Does, finally being seen out there. So I think we're going to see it, but we're going to be, I think that the best way to look at this is we're going to see how legally this is going to be challenged in the court systems, because believe it or not, we are already looking at the challenges of this very topic in the court system. And that is with Brian Kohberger. This is the exact hot topic that is going on right now in the Brian Kohberger case. And they've been challenging the DNA, even though the DNA was not what linked or what the probable cause affidavit was based upon. It was based upon legitimate DNA that linked directly to Brian Kohberger going around the IGG. And that's probably what is saving the defense or the prosecution from this whole thing being tossed out. Now, the judge did say and did order for the prosecution to turn over the IGG paperwork for an in-camera inspection from the defense. And he cited basically, even if it's insignificant and irrelevant to the case, or it's not going to be used in the matter at all, the defense is still entitled to review irrelevant and insignificant information. And that was, kind of what we said at the beginning. I didn't know how this judge would rule. This investigative genetic genealogy testing is fairly, new. It hasn't really had an opportunity to really be challenged, meaningful challenge, from defense attorneys, taking it up to the Supreme Court and what have you. But it sounds like it's making some headways. And I really do believe that we're going to watch it be played out. But I said, in any other sense, everything's turned over. Everything's turned over, whether you have an objection to it, an exemption to it. I mean, you don't have to turn stuff over that you have an exemption or an objection, which is, why that was challenged and why it took so much time to get before the judge. So, you know, there is that. I'm just, it's just interesting because one of the topics that we happen to be discussing with the Brian Kohberger case is the DNA, right? It is the DNA right here. And so what this Fox News article is basically saying is that they are challenging the DNA, but I don't think it's going to be successful. I don't think it's going to be successful. We know that Nancy Taylor has to challenge it. This is the biggest piece of evidence because it's a biological connection from her client to inside the house, because they just had to concede that he was in his car alone that night driving around. Good morning. So everybody that just came in, I haven't seen you guys. I know I had I said hi to everybody. Let me just go down and say hi to the new people in here. Bye, you babe. Nice to see you. Jack, I think I already said it's me, Jen. It's nice to see you. MJ, Guidance. Always pops up. Joy, I didn't say hi to you, hun. Good morning, B. Betty. It's nice to see you, love. I have to tell you guys, my mods, I got a surprise yesterday. I got a little knock at the door, and I got a big, beautiful package. My mods sent me, you know, I'm always having that huge backpack on my back. Well, they now sent me a backpack with wheels. I can have it on my back, and when I need to get it off and need to roll it behind me, I can do that too. Isn't that awesome? They are so sweet. They're so thoughtful. I have to be honest. I am one lucky girl. I really am. I am one lucky girl. Hey, Dumpling. It's nice to see you. So in the filing on November 30th and released over the weekend, prosecutor Bill Thompson wrote that his office submitted the IGG information in its possession, custody, and control. The fight over whether the IGG evidence should be disclosed has been the sticking point, the defense, as it demands more information through the discovery process. Judge John Judge gave Kohberger's defense a minor victory in October, ordering the prosecution to share the evidence with him for an in-camera review and inspection by the judge done privately. He is expected to examine the IGG evidence and decide how much of it, if any of it, can be shared with the defense. The states argue that the IGG investigation is wholly irrelevant since it has not been used in obtaining any search warrants and will not be used at trial is well supported, a judge wrote previously. Nonetheless, Kohberger is entitled to view at least some of the IGG information in preparing his defense. So I think that is the information, a nut, it in a nutshell, right? It in a nutshell. All right, guys. So without further ado, we've been really covering Alec Murdaugh. We went out there several times. We were at his murder trial. I went to his financial crime sentencing. Alec Murdaugh is one that we have talked to people, looked under the hood, had boots on the ground, and there's been a lot of controversy with this very case. Alec Murdaugh, there's just a lot. So in 2015, there was a kid by the name of Stephen Smith that was in the middle of the road. The Murdaughs were out there, somehow got involved in this. We don't know. At the time, out of sight, out of mind, we thought no connection. No connection with anything nefarious. I don't think the public. There was a lot of allegations that the Murdaugh name was brought up multiple times throughout the investigation, period. That's really all we knew. But other than that, there was no proof. There was nothing else. There really wasn't. There was nothing else other than their name being brought up. Randolph seeming like a good guy by going out there and telling Sandy Smith that he's willing to work for her pro bono. And then when things were resolved and everything was muckied up, all the Murdaughs just, miraculously stopped working on the case. But, Sandy had always maintained that she thought her child was murdered, that it was a hate crime. And I don't think that that's the case. I think that, but either way, that's not the point. This case happened in 2015. Then in 2019, their housekeeper that had been with them almost like family, 30 years, from what I hear, some significant amount of time she had been with the family, took a slip and fall at the Moselle property. That's where both Maggie and Paul were killed at the dog kennels. Well, at the main home, apparently Gloria Satterfield slipped and fell, believed to be potentially the dogs tripped her. Some people, believe that it's possible Alec intentionally tripped her, because what he ended up doing is engaging her sons to sue himself and committing this fraudulent scheme to extort money out of the insurance companies that Alec used for his home and property. Something to crazy tune of $4.something million. A ridiculous amount of money. I mean, when you lose somebody, what's the cost of a human life? I believe people are invaluable. But the courts in a situation like this have to put a value on you. Okay. So the family was successful, but Alec ended up stealing all that money from them. Again, nobody is the wiser at this point, right? This is 2018. Nobody is the wiser. Stephen Smith is gone. Nobody connects any Murdaugh to him other than maybe some allegations that the mother feels. That's it. Then you got Gloria Satterfield. She's a housekeeper that took a fall. She survived the fall, but she died in the hospital several days later, maybe weeks later or months later. But it was a direct result from the injuries she sustained from her fall, according to what I understand. But it still wasn't that. Nobody is the wiser. Nobody even knows, like even her kids don't even know that they've been robbed of every single penny that they have at this point, right? They may not even have it at this point. I don't know. But by 2019, certainly there's that case is either already resolved or getting ready to be resolved. It's definitely in negotiations. Then Paul takes his friends out on his boat. It comes from what we gathered from mom and dad, or some of the witnesses, that mom and dad allow Paul to drink, allow them to have that party lifestyle, and are very familiar with him using his brother's older driver's license and passing it off as his to be able to buy alcohol or drink at bars. Well, this is one of those cases where they took the boat out to Beaufort, and him and his friends go to this bar. I was actually at the bar. Bar's a really nice bar. I got to tell you, if you're ever in the area, go out there and get some wings. I got to tell you, the wings, I like all types of wings. I like hot wings, barbecue wings, and I like some different flavored wings. So they had a garlic and cracked pepper wing, because I like a garlic and Parmesan. But he said, well, we do have a garlic and pepper, like cracked pepper. So I had them. I was like, yeah, let me try that. Awesome wings. They have really, really good wings. But the kids went out there and drank. And it was clear that Paul was clearly intoxicated. He was arguing with some of the people. People were trying to take over the driving. Paul would not do that. According to his girlfriend, she tried to say something, and he hauled off and hit her in her face in front of all those people. And that was the first. As soon as I heard that, I knew that there was violence in their home, whether it was swept under the rug or not, because boys just don't hit women, especially country boys. Remember, I talked to you about these mama's boys, right? Mama's boys. They love their mother. They would never disrespect another woman. Do they make mistakes? Of course they do. Have they, and let me put it like this, just because I feel like somebody has lost their cool and hit somebody, do I naturally consider them a natural abuser of women? I do not. Sometimes people just lose their cool. It's the behaviors of the person that makes them abusive or not. Does the hitting, when you lose you should have better self-control than to allow yourself to assault somebody else. And I'm going to say assault because that's what it is. You have no right to put your hands on somebody else. But when I heard that, then I knew that kids just don't, again, with the Gabby Petito conversation we had, parents that don't deal with domestic violence will not deal with domestic violence. This is something that I believe domestic violence is a learned behavior. It's a learned behavior. So if he is hitting his girlfriend, He has seen somebody hit their spouse or significant other, and it's been accepted in their lifestyle. And it's okay, because if it wasn't okay, he wouldn't have done it. But then again, we have to look at the fact that he was drunk, and we know about, Timmy, right? He turns into Timmy. So it was this pivotal moment. It was this moment when this wreck happened and Mallory Beach lost her life, that Alec Murdaugh was starting to be on very limited time. It was at this point the direction of the Murdaugh dynasty turned to almost tragedy. And it was tragedy, right? He was disgraced. He fell. He destroyed his legacy. He destroyed his family name, because after this, the pressure came. They wanted to go into his finance. They made the leap because the parents knew that he drank. The parents were okay with sending him to the store and buying a liquor before. The parents were knowledgeable about him using his brother's ID to get beer and alcohol, and still allowed them to use the family boat. Now the parents, Alec and Maggie, have now assumed financial responsibility over that accident for their adult son. So you see how that leap went? Because he was 19 at the time. He was 100% fully financially responsible. And I'm talking about Paul Murdaugh. He was fully financially responsible for that accident. He was an adult. However, his parents became financially responsible because of legal maneuvering, okay? And when you have just cause, you can bring other people in, and that's what they did. Now, Alec Murdaugh, he's the deeper pocket than Paul. You see how this works? So now they're going after Alec's finances. Well, Alex has all these fraudulent accounts. He's about to be exposed. And right when he is required to turn over all these documents in this case in 2021, now granted, they did not have the hearing. We did not know how the judge was going to rule. But anybody that has worked in a law office knows that the judge would most likely rule that he has to turn over at least some of the stuff, right? We don't know what the request was. I'm not going through the request or what the challenge was or anything like that. All I'm simply saying is that they needed to have, they were going to be getting an order from the courts for Alec to turn over at least some of his financial records. And that was a problem. Next thing you know, boom, boom, Paul and Maggie are dead. And the sympathy starts coming in and pouring in for Alec. Then when law enforcement pressure starts getting the best of him, he decides to concoct this unalive plan with the help of Cousin Eddie. That plan was foiled, and he went to court, and the courts found him guilty. After he was found guilty, Becky Hill became the target. So actually, you know what? I have that. You guys are probably sick of, well, for the new ones that have not seen this, let me go ahead and pull this up. This is the Becky Hill, oh yeah, it's on my channel, Bullhorn Betty. And Becky Hill, the one that read off his charges, ended up, it's under videos, ended up getting ran over, right? Like she was thrown under the bus and then ran over multiple times. I think it's this one. I think it's this one right here.
Alec Murdaugh's defense team is claiming that the clerk of court, Rebecca Hill, tampered with the jury by advising them not to believe Alec's testimony and other evidence, that Ms. Hill pressured them to reach a quick verdict and misrepresented critical and material information to the trial judge in an alleged effort to toss a jury she felt would favor the defense. The defense believes Ms. Hill betrayed her oath of office for a book deal, money, and fame. In the motion, the defense argues Ms. Hill advised the jurors not to be misled by the evidence presented by the defense or fooled by Alex or his testimony. According to the defense, Ms. Hill had frequent private conversations with the jury foreperson. Most alarming, defense is alleging the clerk of courts actually asked jurors for their opinion during the trial. In fact, they are claiming Ms. Hill actually faked the entire Facebook post hoax to toss a juror and failed to allow the jury smoke breaks during deliberation, which forced the jurors to come back with a quick not guilty verdict. So what are your thoughts on all of this information? There was a 65-page motion for new trial authored by Alec Murdaugh's defense team. Now, this is a lot of information to digest. And I have to be honest, some of the information in the affidavits are questionable. How is this going to play out?
I'm interested in your thoughts. And please consider visiting me on my...
Okay, so there you have it. You know, that is really it in a nutshell. I have to be honest with you. Let me just see if I think there's another one here that I wanted to get at, and it was the whole, I think that was it. I think that might have been it. But that's what we're dealing with. And then after all of that happened, Becky Hill's son is arrested on one count of wiretapping. And I'm like, this isn't good, because you guys know how I've taken the back of Becky Hill, because I really don't like Alec Murdaugh. But I also warned everybody, let's not jump to conclusions until we get some more information. You know, that these affidavits, then I learned that we don't have really any other affidavits on the record for the other jurors. And now I'm starting to get a little uncomfortable here. I have to be honest with you. This is not looking very good for Miss Hill at all. And it appears that she is currently under ethical investigations on how she advertised her book and how she used her public office to bring attention to the book. So I don't know how this is going to play out, and will this rise to the level of getting Alec Murdaugh a new trial? I will be honest with you, it could. This mess could actually be what pushes it over the edge. This does not look good. Excuse me. This does not look good at all. This is, if nothing more, even if she didn't do anything wrong at this point, the appearance of impropriety is there, folks. I mean, for me, it is. I don't know. We might. I'm in utter disbelief. I have to be honest. I literally am in utter disbelief that we are here. I'm in utter disbelief that Becky's son is now he's ruined. You know, I hope that with his, stellar reputation, that he, has a path forward, that this will be pled down, so he's not guilty. I mean, I do believe everybody has, should have if it's their first crime, I think they should be provided some leniency and some benefit of the doubt. And that's across the board, because again, it's their first crime. I don't think somebody needs to be going to prison for 5 years on their first crime. But with that being said, it may rise to that level, because if this guy wiretapped and it's a result that costs the county and the state millions of dollars in a retrial, now you're talking about significant damages that rise to the level of some jail time. You see how this is all working? This is not good. This is really, really not good. I've been invested in this case and read as much as I can on it. I read Becky Hill's book, Eyed her the whole. I heard her the whole time. I see things in her book are being used against her now. Well, I expected some things to be used against her because they're trying to save their clients. So I understand that aspect of it. And I understand that people that don't understand the process may have a problem. I understand the process. I have no problem with her talking to the foreperson. In my understanding, that is the chain of command. You have a chain of command situation to avoid or limit the ability to be corrupt. You know, there's all these things when it comes to our government and our legal system and any type of public enterprise that we, the public, support. There's processes in place, and those processes, you know, sometimes sound stupid or redundant to us, or we don't understand why would they do this. A lot of this stuff has to do with putting these policies and procedures in place. So it limits the ability of corruption. It limits the ability of cronyism. Does it stop it? No, it doesn't. It limits it. That's it. It just limits it. My position on Becky is totally altered at this point with The Wire. Not the book. The book, you know, I have not read the book yet personally. I'm not sure if I will. I may pop the spine just to see what's in it. But the book, to me, it's the catalyst, I think, for the new trial. But I don't think it's not the seal of the deal that's making me feel like Becky could be possible. It could be possible that Becky put her fingers on the scales of justice, but I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't have believed it at all the way up to the argument of the motion for new trial. Alec would not have garnered my support in this particular argument had it not been for the wiretapping charge of her son. And as soon as that happened, my whole appearance, my whole standing on related to Becky has changed. It's changed because it shows me that she is willing to get into the gutter and willing to do that type of work. That's what it told me. It may not say that to you guys, but me being in the politics of my county, and knowing how politicking works, that's what made me change my mind, because this is dirty. This is dirty. This is something that I believe she knew was going to happen. And it's corrupt. And it's going to be hard to convince me that she had no knowledge of what her son was doing. It really is going to be very, very hard. It's so hard that you're going to have to believe me, make me believe beyond a reasonable doubt. Provide me the receipts. Let me look at them. And if for any reason Becky Hill had no knowledge of this, I want to make sure that I come up here and vindicate her for that, at least this aspect of it. I don't like spreading misinformation, but that's my opinion. And my opinion is Becky Hill knew. Becky Hill knew. I recommend her book. I was going to donate it to the library so others can read it, but something tells me to keep it. I could see it being pulled. Yeah, I would keep it. I would keep it. You never know, right? You just never know. It is a piece of history. Anything surrounding, and I think that's why the auction was so wildly successful for the Murdaugh property. Not the actual property, home, the property, the contents inside that home. I think that was what was so, because everything was just ridiculous. I like even Jen Between, she purchased some stuff and I was about fell over at the cost she but she got very specific stuff that she really wanted. So, and I one of it's a map, and I think it's going to go in her office or something. I don't know. I got to call Jen in between. If she's on here or she's watching me, Jen, I'm not going to be in Savannah on the 8th. I've got too many things going on. I've got paperwork that's got to be filed today. And with the lack of income for a week at the hands of these animals, I'm just at it. I just can't. So We'll be here. We'll be here for the 8th. I won't be there for Leilani. Maybe they'll go forward with it. Maybe not. I don't know. And you're probably not going to get good coverage because the news out there in Chatham County suck. They don't follow these cases. They don't do the right work on it. And then they get pissed off that we do when we come in there and steal their clicks and their views because we actually run the case. Unfortunately, we can't run this case. Not on the 8th, right? Not on the 8th. So I apologize about that, but I'm just not going to be able to get out there. If I keep it, I can read it a lot. And you know what's crazy about it, Jack, is that honestly, every time we read a book, which reminds me, we need to read Language of Letting Go. I skipped Language of Letting Go. I need to get back on track because this is one of our things. But we read this book. This is the same book we read for the last year and a half, and we come across the same statements week after week. And you know, every time we read it, every single year, we get something new out of it. So it's kind of neat. But by keeping the book, every time you read it, you're going to get a new detail that you read before but forgot about, or something else. But you're going to start every time you read that book. So if you haven't read it, if you only read it once, try reading it again. I bet you'll get like almost 10 times more out of the second read than you did the first read. So for the Language of Letting Go, for the people that love the Language of Letting Go, this is just a codependency book that I've had for many, many years as I was, cleaning up my life and getting myself straightened out, getting away from the substances and breaking the chains of codependency. And I just really love this book. And so for December 6th, it says celebrate. It says, look at your life. Look back at the path you've walked this far and celebrate. One of the joys of walking to the top of the mountain is looking back at how far you've come. It's wonderful to stand on the high ridge and see the tiny footpaths stretching off into the distance. Celebrate with awe how far you've come in those first few steps of sobriety and in your faith and willingness to let go of your fears. Celebrate those first flattering moments of learning what it meant to take care of yourself. Even now, with each step you take, you're being transformed. Celebrate. Turn around, look, see how far you've come. Celebrate the journey that you've taken so far and look forward to the adventure that lies ahead. God help me celebrate all our triumphs. Thanks for walking with me, even when I felt like I was walking alone. So what a great and powerful message that is. For those that attend our church service, we go over to Countryside Christian Church every Sunday as a group to worship. And I don't know if you recall, for those that come to church with us, our new church services, the church has changed them. Starting December 3rd, which was this past Sunday, we were at church at 9:15 versus 9:30. So if you like to attend church with the coffee club, please know that the time has changed just slightly from 9:30, and they moved it a little earlier to 9:15 to accommodate their physical location and their physical location traffic. So if you guys would like to, please don't forget, every Sunday we go to Countryside Church at around 9 a.m. and we worship together. It's very, very nice, and I really do enjoy it. So if you enjoy church or you haven't been to church in a while and you'd like to come back and come hang out with a bunch of crazy true crimers, that's where we'll be. That's where we'll be. Maddie Dawn, it's nice to see you, my love. Good morning. Good morning. So the Alec Murdaugh thing, and the fact that Becky Hill is actually under, it does appear she is under ethical investigation right now. Let me pause this. I don't want this. Let me just read this article that was from Court TV, Colleton County, South Carolina. Embattled clerk of court Becky Hill, who serves during Alec Murdaugh's murder trial, is now the subject of ethics investigations by the state. Murdaugh was sentenced to 2 life terms in prison for the murder of wife Maggie and son Paul at their Low Country home. His attorneys have filed an appeal of his conviction, claiming that Hill, which is the clerk, Becky Hill, inappropriately tampered with the jury by making comments to them, among other allegations. Hill denied any wrongdoing and an affidavit. Now, guys, I even want to tell you, just because this stuff does not look good, we do have to understand that even though this does not look good, it doesn't mean she tampered with that jury. Okay, I want to be very clear on this. This does not look good. And like I said, prior to her son, I wouldn't think she would be capable of doing something like that. I feel now she is capable of doing something like that. I'm not saying she did. This does not look good, and it has definitely flawed the way I look at Becky moving forward. I can promise you that. But I do want to make sure you do know that even with all this, even if all the wiretapping and stuff is true, it doesn't mean it affected his trial. Okay. So there's two things going on. Could it be? Yes. I won't lie to you. It could absolutely be this wiretapping and all this has a direct result to his motion for new trial. I'm absolutely saying that. I am absolutely saying that. But I'm also absolutely saying that it may have nothing to do with it. We as the public just don't have enough information to make that leap factual. We can allege it, we can speculate it, we can have our opinion that it is that, but we have no real, if you really want to talk about like factual, yes, we don't have that yet. It hasn't come out where we can corroborate it. Okay, it's not corroborated. So it has to be, we're alleging it. There's no corroboration. It's not fact. But I believe it. So Hill denies any wrongdoing, and affidavit filed with the state's response to the defense motion for new trial. She said she never made comments to the jury about Murdaugh that could construe as inappropriate. Prosecutors have argued that the jurors who have alleged Hill made the comments perhaps misremember statements that the prosecution made in court during closing arguments. The defense's response, prosecutors say that the South Carolina law enforcement SLED had investigated claims of jury tampering and said one of the jurors who spoke with them reported feeling any pressure or influence to reach their verdict. So they're saying none of them has spoke about reporting or reported any feelings of pressure or influence in the verdict. So while the State Court of Appeals has granted Murdaugh's motion to suspend his conviction for the murder and remand the case to the circuit court for an evidentiary hearing, which has not been scheduled, it appears that other investigations into Hill's behavior are ongoing. So this could very well and clearly be just an ethical issue, an ethical investigation into Becky that her son was listening in on, and this may have nothing to do with this new trial and be 100% related to just the ethical issues surrounding the book. And just because she wrote the book doesn't mean it gives the defense the right to have a new trial because the clerk decided to write a book. The clerk has the same rights as every other citizen of this country. However, the nuance for a clerk is they can lose their job. They can be hired and fired. They can be kicked out of their office for what they do, outside the realm. For example, if she has an ethical issue around this book, when she was trying to take all the stuff to be ethical, but maybe she went a little too far or whatnot, she could literally be removed from her seat. She can remove from her seat, and then the governor would have to appoint, or whatever appointing body would have to appoint a new clerk until voting, until the next elections. So she does have rights, but so does the county, and so does the public. I don't know how to take any of this. I don't know if this is related to Alec Murdaugh's new trial. It scares the hell out of me, like it did the day that I saw that motion for new trial. You guys know how nervous I was reading it. I'm like, please, Becky, don't tell me this is true. Please, please, please. And I keep looking at her, and it's so hard for me to believe that she violated her oath of office to this degree. I mean, the book is one thing, and whatever ethical issues she's got to go through. I mean, I've dealt with ethical issues with my politicians in the past. I've watched how the process works. It really does suck for the people going through it. But I think at the end of the day, unless you have and there are some corrupt ethical boards out there, but unless you have an ultra corrupt or a hyper political ethics board, they're usually fair and reasonable. So, I mean, that's been my experience. Not all the time. I've had I've seen the corrupt ethics boards as well that are on a political witch hunt and whatnot. I have seen that. I've had the experience of that as well. I hope that's not the case here, but we don't know. I can tell you that anybody that's alleging stuff and saying it's one way or another, from everything I've read, there's no way for us to make that determination the way it sits right now. It seems like a little bit more is coming out about the book and why it seems so corrupt for the for the community as well as the defense team. But in all fairness, the defense team is going to do its best. And I say that its absolute best to find any scintilla of opportunity to challenge his conviction. So that's it, Well, God bless you, Rule 137. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I hope you're infected with some Christmas spirit instead of hate. So God bless you. Have a great day. So that's it. And now it just to be in all fairness, Rule 31, 137. You have great reading comprehension skills. Well, that was a compliment. So I do appreciate that. I do have those comprehension skills, but I've also lived this case too, right? So I've been down there. I've spoke to people. I've had an opportunity to speak to James, to speak to Dick, to speak to Creighton, right? I've had an opportunity to speak to all of them. So yeah, I don't think it's about my comprehension of reading. It's just my comprehension of the case because I've done the work to have the comprehension of the case. But I do, in all fairness, Rule 137. Hope you have a Merry Christmas. I do hope you get bitten by some Christmas spirit and start spreading some joy and love. That would really be kind, right? Be kind to the other people, even the ones you don't like. Doesn't hurt nobody, right? Right? I'm just saying. Throw some kisses instead of some, I'd rather have this. Oh, that's the wrong one. I don't think he was big. I mean, being snarky. I don't think 137 was even being a dick. I think I'm spreading sunshine everywhere. I don't believe it, 137. I just don't believe it. I ain't calling crazy over here. I just don't believe you're spreading sunshine. I'm sorry. I think you lied to me. 137. You lied to me. Are we gonna have to put you in time? I don't even mind talking to you, but am I gonna have to put you in timeout? You lied. That's no good. Watch out. My Pink Panther's coming out. You better watch out. Well, I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I really do. Spread some cheer. Spread some love. That's all I'm going to say, 137. Spread some cheer. Spread some love. I got plenty of sunshine here in Florida. You know what I'm missing? You know what I'm missing? What I'm lacking? I'm not lacking sunshine, babe. I'm lacking spirit. I'm lacking Christmas spirit and a lot of Christmas love. Check your door. Are you freaking me out? Is somebody freaking me? They're telling me to check my door. I'm telling you. Am I starting to have mod stalkers? All right, what do we got here? What is this? What is this? I think I got my mod stalkers in the chat, and they say, Betty, hey, go check your door. Had to peek out at first. Is there any crazies out there? Oh. You're not leaving us. They said, you're not good enough to make your Keurig. We need you here in front of the camera. Duncan. I love it. Oh, yum. Somebody's trying to make me fat. Somebody is trying to make Bullhorn Betty. Oh, my God. Like majorly fat. Look at this. Is this Starbucks? This is Starbucks. This is not Dunkin'. This is definitely Starbucks because I only get these things at Starbucks. I could have looked at the bag. Jennifer, I love you. Thank you, my love. Jennifer is the best. Jennifer is the best. Thank you, love. And you know I'm going to eat all this. So you guys are going to watch me stuff my face in front of you. And guess what? You're just going to have to suck it up, Buttercup. All right. Look at this. Bacon, eggs. Woo. Woo. It's getting hot in here. We might have another experience. I need to stop. So, but on a serious note, this may be two totally different situations, you know, because I did ask Dick when he was at the podium. I asked him, you know, with Jeffrey Hill being arrested on the wiretapping, if it changed, how confident he is on the motion for the new trial. And he specifically said, we don't know what this is all about yet. He even told me he doesn't. Where's my other phone? I don't have it here. He even said something to the effect of, I think he even may have said, we don't even know if it's related yet. So maybe he did have some inside information. This may have nothing to do with the motion for new trial stuff with Becky Hill. This just may have been something ethically that was just uncovered during that investigation. And you know, you're dealing with law enforcement. So if they see a crime, you know, they have a duty to address it, even if it's unrelated to the case that they're investigating. So this just might be a situation that looks really, really bad, but has nothing to do with the murder conviction of Alec Murdaugh at all. And may not even have any weight or any significance related to his motion for new trial. It could very well be the way this court TV article reads. It almost feels like it's related to the ethics surrounding the book. Nothing related to Alec, her improprieties related to the juror or anything else. So although I am very hot under the collar related to Becky Hill and the fact that she clearly, you know, isn't below getting into the gutter. And I will say that because wiretapping, when you deal with an activist like me and I find somebody has wiretapped in my community, that's the gutter to me. Like literally that's the gutter. They are so lucky they do not have a Bullhorn Betty in their community. Because I'm telling you, if they had a Bullhorn Betty in their community, it would be a very heated either city hall meeting or board of county commissioner meetings. I will tell you that if this shit here happened in my town, we have some stuff and I have to, you know, come down at times, but this type of stuff, wiretapping, the freaking roof of that county building would be blown off. And I mean that sarcastically. My voice would literally have lifted, raised the roof, right? Bullhorn Betty would have raised the roof. We're raising the roof. Right? So anyways, I just don't put up with this kind of shit. I really don't. It drives me nuts. You know, sometimes you have to take the good with the bad in politics. And what do I mean by that? I mean, sometimes your politicians are really good at getting what you need pushed through because it's for the betterment of the community. All right. But they do stupid stuff, right? Like, you have those politicians that are really good at their political work, but really shitty at their reality, their life work, right? Right? They're great at their job at the county, but once they punch out, you got some issues, right? I have politicians like that. I get it. And sometimes you just have to take the BS because they're good at their job. I don't know if that's the case. All I know is that she was willing to get down in the gutter. This is the gutter for me. Getting wiretapping, this is the gutter for me. This is the gutter of corruption for me. Does that mean she did anything without? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything, but I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't. I pray, like, when I see this stuff, even with the ethical stuff, it just makes me uneasy. It makes me uneasy with, Alec Murdaugh's trial. I don't want to go through another trial. There's no guarantee that he will be convicted a second time. We don't know what they know how. I mean, it's like, they're giving him a second bite at the apple. What kind of lies are we going to get from Alec? How is he going to, he's going to have snot coming in. He's going to make sure the snot's rolling out of both nostrils instead of one. I mean, how is he planning on doing the second trial thing? I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. It's giving me freaking heartburn. The thought of it is giving me heartburn. It just is. The story of my life. Trust me. I'm dealing with it here, right? I'm dealing with it. My politicians here. Everybody thinks that I'm just like this mean person and stuff. I'm not mean. I'm actually a good person, but if I want something pushed through, I know how. I know how to get my policies pushed through. Like I said, these policies don't really affect me. I own my stuff. Taxes go up. I mean, I'm paying $600 a year here, right, for my taxes. So the policy, it's for the betterment of our community, right? But if I think something it needs to be pushed through because it's going to help a lot of people in my community, you bet your ass I'm going to the mattress. I'm going to the mattress. I'll get it done. You guys don't understand. If I got to fill that entire county commission up with bodies, I will put bodies in every single one of the chairs, and we will literally go on a filibuster. Dragging them one right after another onto that podium. Okay. If I need to push something through, I'm getting it pushed through. Okay. I don't come there with crap like I want credits for a roof, right? They were trying to do. I made a snarky comment at one of the county meetings because they're trying to give credits, like have people have different water flow toilets, and the county wanted to start giving credits away for people that installed this toilet. That to me is petty and a waste of taxpayer money. Okay, no, we're not going to be giving credits to people to change out their toilets in Bradenton. Okay, if they want the toilets are a freaking $100. We're not giving credits for toilets. Okay, and I remember saying if we're going to be throwing credits around, I'm missing a roof. If you guys want to start throwing credits around for a roof, hey, I'm all for it. Right? It was sarcastic. I wouldn't have been for it either. I don't care if they were giving $1,000 away for a roof. That's not where our taxpayer money for Manatee County needs to be going. So I would have never, ever, even if it benefited me, ever go for that policy. Just would never, ever, ever in a million years happen. Okay. But I got to tell you, they do some stupid stuff. But if I want to, I tell you, they can say, oh, no. That's the difference between good policies and bad policies. You come in there with bad policies, they'll never get through. I could fight like hell. I could stack the whole entire county commission if I wanted to. I literally could. I could stack the whole audience there for a bad policy. And guess what? It still would not be pushed through. Only good policies get pushed through. Thanks, Jen. Thank you. Just Deb says, especially after the crap she was done. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Oh, yeah, you guys have no co. What is 130? yeah, right. They roll your eyes when you come into. Hey, it doesn't matter if they roll my eyes. You see, when I get up there, I get the job done, though. You know what? They weren't planning on putting those. They were planning on dragging the impact fees out here in Manatee County. I'm sorry. These developers that are out here making millions and billions of dollars from the houses we allow them to build, and the fact that we allow them to buy agriculture and then move it to like an SF12 where they can put 12 units on 1 acre. You know, we do that. That stacks their pocketbook. And when they come there and I find out that we're not charging them at 100% for the impact that they're causing on our community, that the taxpayers have to do it, I came with a freaking heavy hand. They can roll their eyes at me all day long, but I bet you when I walked out of there, those developers were paying their fair share. I can guarantee that. So they can roll their eyes all day long, but I get good policies passed. And I'll go to the mattress. So just saying, I'm not banned. And I've been speaking to, I spoke to YouTube at 5 o'clock. I got the whole email. No, I'm not going to produce my email, my private communications with Google that nobody is entitled to. But I'm telling you, I spoke to them. And clearly, you know that everybody under the sun has then flagged this channel for this false ban evading. I'm not banned. I'm not suspended on the other account. I got a slap on the hand for a false strike, which is going to go off in 7 days. It absolutely did nothing. It's just building this channel up. This channel is going to end up being monetized quicker and faster. So at the end of the day, they actually did me a favor, not a hindrance. I mean, it is a hindrance, right? Because I am down. I am financially constrained because of the damage that they have caused the one group of people. One of them, I am currently in the process of suing right now, and she can't keep her fucking mouth shut. But that's okay. I'm sure the judge will be pleased. I'm sure the judge will be pleased, and we will be before him sooner than later. I can guarantee that. But you know what, 137, you're going to either have to, you seem like a good person. This is what I'll tell you, buddy. I don't know if you're female or male. I mean, I don't. In all reality, I don't. But what I can say is you seem like a decent person. If you hang out with trash, you know what, you lay down with dogs, you're going to get fleas. That's what I'm going to tell you. I don't lay down with dogs, right? I don't lay down with dogs, and I try to avoid fleas. I can tell you personally, it is entirely too mentally and mind-blowing consuming to have all this hate and anger. To try to control somebody you don't know. I'm not going to ever be controlled. If I have not proven that at this point, nobody's ever going to control me. Why? Because I live my life for me, just like you should live your life for you. I would be saying this and be coming to the mattress if somebody was trying to force you to do something against your will. You don't have to like what comes out of my mouth. You don't have to agree with my positions. You don't have to agree with anything. You don't. Nobody's forcing you to agree with me. But what you don't get to do is harass me nonstop because you don't like what I do. You know, I mean, this is America. I am entitled to be me. I am free to be me, right? It's my body, my choice. It's a little concerning that so many people feel they have a right to come, and the audacity that they think that they have a right to come to me to ask me why I do something. I'll give you a blanket answer. I do what I do because I do what I do. It's my life. It's my choices. Nobody has to deal with the consequences of those but me. But and I get that. But you know, you've watched this as long as I did. It's not just questions in here. It's straight harassment, insults, bullying, and I'm tired of it. And you should be too, because I got to tell you, I feel I tried to be nasty and mean. I don't like it. I have to be honest. I don't know how you guys carry this much hate and anger with you guys all the time, every single day. I honestly don't get it. I could never live like that. I tried. It was miserable. It feels good to do good, man. I like knowing I make a positive difference. Me attacking, that is not a good use of my time. I find that to be absolutely, it does no good. What's the word I use? I know I just told, because I mean, seriously, my brain's kind of flunking out on me right here, but it is, where is it? It's counterproductive. It's counterproductive. Like I work every day. Even people try to pull me in. I have to tell people, stop. Look, I don't have time for this. I've got to get this work done. I got work to do. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. I don't engage in it because it doesn't make me feel good. If being nasty and crappy to people every day, all day, if that truly made me feel good, I would be the biggest troll on the internet. I can promise you it doesn't make me feel good. I don't like it. I don't know how you guys do it. I really don't. It just seems like I don't like the gunk. I don't like how it makes me feel. You can do it. That's you. I just can't. I can't keep engaging like this. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't like it. And I don't do things I don't like. So that's why I don't go into those rooms. It's why I don't watch those other channels. It's why I don't really engage. It's why I don't bully people. It's why I don't, I'll bully the hell out of a murderer. I shouldn't say bully because it's not what I'm doing. It really isn't. It's advocating. But I'll be at the front door of a suspect in a heartbeat, a suspect to a crime, a serious crime. But, actually going out of my way to hurt somebody that just doesn't like me. That's not something I'm going to do. No, I'm sure not. So you too, Rule 137. You have a great day. God bless. I hope you have just be a little kinder to people. It's the holidays. That's all I'm saying. We're all adults here. We don't have to like each other, and we definitely don't have to go and cause problems for each other either. So God bless. Take care. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about Becky? Do we? I almost, maybe we should do an open panel tomorrow. That I think would be fun, or maybe later tonight. Sorry, egg. I wonder if we should do, because we were getting on to 6:30 and 6:30, and then we kind of got hit with the blow of the channel, our main channel going down. So we're building up the watch. Guys, the watch hours are they're skyrocketing. We've already passed over 2,000. I think, and this is 2 days behind. Like our numbers, they're not up to like yesterday. They're actually up to maybe the 4th. And then we have the 5th, and then of course today. Oh, Jen Between. Hey girl. Good morning. Becky is shady as the rest. I know. Did you hear Jen in between? Or Jen Between? Did you hear? I can't make it to Savannah to see you guys. We're going to have to do a separate trip. We're going to have to do a separate trip that's unrelated to Leilani if we're all going to hang out, because I can't get up there by the 8th. With the channel, it's gone a week. We have to build this. Other things going on. It's just not. It really isn't conducive. It's just not going to work for me. I keep trying to go back to Leilani. But who knows? The last time we went there for the same motion hearing, they ended up canceling it. So I know that there's some challenges in the case with Leilani, and I'm very, very concerned because they still, from my understanding, guys, now it's so sad. It's so sad. But it's my understanding that they still have Quentin, the FBI or whatever lab. I think he might have been transferred back to Chatham. But it's my understanding he hasn't been released and he hasn't been put to rest yet. And I don't know what hurts my heart the most. I really don't. Because it's like this poor baby. his poor 20 months on this earth was just so horrific, and he didn't know any better. That was his life. And then to know that he still hasn't been put to rest, that poor little baby still isn't resting in peace. And I don't know why. It just tears me up. There's just a piece of me that it just tears me up inside, you know? And I just can't fathom, you know, but then I look and it's like, who did this kid really have in his life? He had crap. Nobody is fighting for that little boy. Nobody. Still. And it's so upsetting. It's so upsetting. So upsetting. So I think maybe we should have like an open panel on the whole Becky Hill thing. And here's why. Here's why I think it needs to be open panel style. Because first of all, I think in this particular situation, we've got two situations going on here with Becky Hill. I think the first one is the thing that started the whole rumor mill with the new trial. And that's the book. That's the book. I think we have the book issue as well as jury issues. So I think there are two major issues going on surrounding Becky Hill. The question is one, are they related or separated? And if separated, what does all this mean? So it's not just, it's a complex, if you see what I'm saying, it's a very complex discussion because you've got so many moving parts and what do those mean? Because you have, you know, these three, you got two major options here, but you got the third of both. So you got three situations that you need to try to go down the three paths. And there's going to be so many perspectives related to this that I feel like an open panel would really be the only way to dive into this, you know, deeper and get perspectives up. And I think when we do those type of panels, in my opinion, I believe it all relates to Jen between, but you know, the way the court systems are going to work, you're going to have them, somebody's going to want them together and somebody's going to want them apart. So, you know, I'm thinking that like tonight at 6:30 would be the best time for those discussions because people are off work. We get more, and I feel like we'll have more engagement with the topic of conversation. People wanting to have their perspective heard on the whole Becky Hill thing. I got to tell you, this whole mess stinks to high heaven. It's almost hard. You know, I'm trying to be balanced with it because I'm so biased toward Alec Murdaugh. And I told you guys that. And I said, you know, even this whole Becky Hill stuff, I've got to be careful because I need to look at this because I've got to remove I have a bias. I absolutely 100%. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about Alec Murdaugh and me. I have a bias when it comes to him. I think he's garbage. I don't believe a damn thing he or his attorneys say. It's just a bias in me. So I've got to constantly be telling myself, you've got to remove that bias. So when I'm looking at stuff, I can see that my bias is setting in and I've got to remove it. I've got to remove it to be fair. I've got to remove it to be fair. And that's where all of this nonsense coming from Becky Hill has really got me to, you know, to move because my bias, I feel like, may have prevented me from seeing this. But I don't think anybody saw this. I mean, our son is arrested for wiretapping. I don't think anybody could have seen that. You know, definitely not me. I wasn't even looking at Colt Hill. You know, who's Colt Hill? I mean, until the report came out, I didn't. Colt, who the hell is Colt? Why does it say Jeffrey on it? And then you're reading, it's like, oh, Jeffrey Colton Hill, Colt Hill. I'm like, okay, well, there it goes. You know, but nobody's looking at Jeffrey Hill, right? We're all looking at Becky saying, there's no way this sweet old lady did any of this. And then we get this bombshell, and it's like, what? I swear to God, I feel like I'm living in a Twilight Zone. Hey, PJ. Nice to see you, love bug. Nice to see you. My mod sent me breakfast, so you get to watch me stuff my face. I bit off a little more than I could chew. It's so big. I wanted to laugh, but I couldn't open my mouth. All right, I'm back. Back. We need Twilight music. Yes, we do. Well, we can. That's not even. I gotta change. I think I'm reviewing now. If anybody knows about this K300 sound card, I'm wanting to change some of my effects on here. If anybody knows an easy way to change the effects, maybe reach out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. But I am looking into it. I'm going to watch YouTube videos to figure out how I can change this, because I'd rather have my own voice on here if I'm going to do it. If we're all going to laugh, let's just all laugh, right? I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Mama Llama, it's nice to see you, honey. Nice to see you. So I think that's really all I have for the Alec Murdaugh and Becky Hill. You guys know what we're going to be talking about tonight at 6:30. We're going to do an open panel. So for those that would like to participate in an open panel, get your notes ready and be prepared. And also remember, when you guys come up here, I only need to see your face behind the scenes. If you do not want your face on the camera, I will show you guys how to turn the camera off. It's just a simple little button just like this, and you can go up there. And so now you don't have to have your face all over the screen. You have this beautiful little thumbnail. You're able to talk and you're able to be who you are without being self-conscious or anything like that. We definitely understand. We know that not everybody, is a public speaker. So we want you to be able to say what you mean what you say, without having to, show your face if you don't want to. So we do have the options, but we do want people to participate. And we definitely want to have this discussion about Becky Hill, because to me, now we have two major issues surrounding Miss Hill. I'm not feeling comfortable about that. I've got to be honest. I'm not feeling comfortable about that at all. At all. It's just, this is not professional. Okay, this is not professional, but they are going after Murdaugh's. We didn't expect it to be a cakewalk either, right? We expected shenanigans to come out, but in all fairness, I'm a fair person. I'm a very fair person, whether I like the person or not. In all fairness, if Becky did do this and she did make those comments to the jurors, I'm not saying she did one way or another. I'm just saying if she did, then I'm sorry. I have to agree. She put her finger on the hands of justice, and he deserves to know that he was rightfully convicted. And I think if we were all put in this situation, no matter our feelings of Alec Murdaugh or not, if we were all put in this position, I personally want to know that he is convicted beyond a reasonable doubt without corruption. That's what I want. As a public citizen, as somebody that's going to be on the tit of the government for the rest of his life now, that we have just removed from being a productive member of society to throw in jail, I want to make sure that man was rightfully convicted. I am a fair person about that. I am I am truly a law and order chick. Whether I like you or not, I want you to have the law work for you just like it works for everybody else. And if she did those things in that jury box, those should be exposed, and he should have his day in court. And I will never, ever apologize for that standing or that statement. I don't like the man, but if he was done wrong, and again, I don't know, this is just not looking good for me. And it's so much so that it's making me make this statement. But if he was done wrong, he deserves his day in court. Whether or not, no matter how I feel about that man. So I'm paying attention to this. Do I want to go and spend millions of dollars to retry this man? Absolutely not. But if Becky did this, she should have to pay for that. If she caused this, she should be on the hook for the millions of dollars, in my opinion. I hope that I hope that she just has a minor ethical issue with this book. I'm not saying that's minor. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you promoted a book using your public office. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? You lose your job. So what, right? I don't really care about the books stuff. I just don't. It doesn't affect Alec. It doesn't affect his case. It doesn't affect his new trial. Her conduct during that trial, however, does. Was she handling herself ethically and within the law? That's the only thing I care about at this point. I don't give a damn about this book. I don't give a damn about Jeffrey and his wiretapping unless it's connected to whether or not Alec was provided a fair trial or not. I want to make sure Alec has a fair trial, had a fair trial, and that we can move on and move past from this. But I have a funny feeling this is not over. And this is starting to stink to high heaven. This is not what I had expected. I really don't even know. I'm kind of in shock. I'm in awe. I'm just like, I keep waiting for the, I keep wondering when is the next shoe going to drop, because I wasn't expecting this to drop, So we'll keep an eye on it. There are some things here that, and this was for Murdaugh. It says to determine whether a proposed outside employment is permissible to analyze the terms official capacity is required. Here you go for considering the following questions. Does the opportunity for the activity arise as a result of your position as the clerk? Is the subject matter of the work something within your official responsibility? Is this type of work something that the clerk of courts would normally do or normally perform, and for which could receive expense reimbursement by the clerk of courts? If all these answers to the question are yes, then writing a book would be within your official capacity. It would be impermissible if you receive compensation for writing that book, or if answered any of the questions is a no. But she didn't receive compensation for writing that book. But I think what the argument is was she using, I don't know. I don't want to get confused or assume anything. I'm just saying that I'm starting to think that the whole thing with Jeffrey is around the ethics of the book versus the improprieties as the clerk on the Alec Murdaugh case. So, all right, guys, that's really all I had for today. Until tonight, we're going to be back here at 6:30 tonight. And at 6:30 tonight, we'll have the open panel. So like I said, be back here, bring your notes. Let's have a good roundtable discussion about Becky Hill. I want to gauge the audience. I want to see where you guys are. Are we pro Becky? Are we not? Because I don't mind in the next, like after Christmas, I don't mind going back up there and doing a full-fledged, I'll go up there and stay a week if need be. And we'll dig deep into Becky Hill if that's what we want to do. So, I mean, put that in the back of your mind. You guys need to decide that. It doesn't need to be within the next month. I mean, if we want to do it 2 months, whatever. But just put it in the back of your mind. If you guys want me to go and dig into Becky Hill, I'm up for it. But this is stinking to high heaven. And I would like to know. And it sounds like she's a lifelong resident from out there. So it seems like people, I would be able to get in front of people to talk to me. I'm pro Becky. I think she's doing Casual Christie. I got to be honest with you. I like Becky. I personally like Becky. If you go back and watch, I personally have went to the mattress for her. I don't believe Alec Murdaugh. I don't like his team. I don't like them running over her with a bus. And so Casual Christie, I will be honest with you. I was pro Becky. This stuff with her son, it's what kind of pushed me over the edge. I have to be honest with you. You never heard me say anything, but now I have to question it. Now I have no choice but to question it because her son was arrested. I don't like this. To be honest with you, it breaks my heart because people probably know, like, because I don't want to believe that she could do anything wrong. She seems like such a sweet lady, and I'm sure she is. I'm not saying that this type of conduct defines her or defines her personality or who she is as a person at all. It just doesn't look good at all. It really doesn't. So, but I would definitely go out there and look into it just to shed some worry, because she seems so sweet that if she were to be pulling the wool over our eyes, I want to make sure we know that she's pulling the wool over our eyes. I'm excited for tonight's discussion. Okay, good. Yeah. And I would like any kind of, conversations, but it's going to be, I don't want to get off topic too much. I want to keep it with Becky Hill and the motion to, I mean, we will have some times to move around and maybe talk about off topics with Alec, but I really want to try to hone in on Becky Hill and what does this mean with Jeff Hill and what are the real issues? I'm thinking the real issues for me personally, Casual, is the motion for new trial and, of course, the ethics with the book. Somebody may say, well, we're not looking at this, and that actually might be something that needs to be discussed. So that's really why I love that roundtable brainstorming concept, especially when it comes to stuff we don't have a whole lot of information on. We have just enough for us to make wild accusations, but not enough for us to make, good common sense factual information, right? We have the option to go down the rabbit hole. Well, I don't feel like going down the rabbit hole, but I definitely want to have a good discussion about it. So we'll see you guys back here at 6:30 tonight. God bless you guys. Again, don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe and kind to one another, especially in the comment box below. And just for everybody, I just want to impress upon you, it is the holiday season. Okay. We are going into Christmas. I realize there are some people that just don't believe in the season, and that's your right not to believe in the season. But we don't have to be nasty. This is really the season of giving, the season of joy, the season of love. And I hope that everybody out here can just embrace goodness and being kind to one another this holiday season. I really believe an act of kindness to a perfect stranger or even a perfect enemy, right, could really go a long way. And I just wish that the people out there that are watching this are choosing love over hate. God bless each and every one of you. And until next time, we'll see you. See you soon, guys. See you soon. And if not, we'll see you at 6:30.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.